cross psychosis. Okay, they might have psychotic episodes or dissociative disorders. That is a mental illness. Hope that makes sense. But not really personality disorders, although people with personality disorders can have mental illness. I hope you at least understand my opinion. And thanks for asking, Will. I hope you're well. Brian from Mass. I'm guessing Massachusetts, not church. I was with what I believe to be a narcissist for about 3 years. She would go missing in action for up to 18 hours at a time and didn't like being asked where she was. I was always there for her, but by the end, if I reached out and I would take her forever to get back to me, it would take her forever to get back to me. But if I didn't jump to the phone for her, she would use silence as a punishment. We broke up months ago, and I've gotten everything from Hoovers to radio silence, and now she acts like we never happened. It's breaking my heart. I was so in love with her and still am, but I know she's no good for me. How do I start to let go? We need some real cognitive awareness, right? We need to be really aware of who we are and what we're doing and what we're thinking and how we're feeling and what we want and what we really need. Because, just what jumps right out at me, and maybe a lot of you guys, I hope, Brian, is this person's abusing you repeatedly over and over again, and you're saying, I'm still in love with them. You sure that's love, Brian? Are you sure? I'm not gonna tell you you don't love somebody. I don't want to do that. I want you to really understand and know the truth. You can't love somebody that abuses you, right? Is that love, or could that be maybe dependency? Maybe a form of addiction. I'm awfully sorry, Brian. So sad. It is so sad when I see people getting treated like this. It doesn't matter how many I see. It's always sad. How do you start to let go? What you can't do on your own, please get help. This is what help is for. It's got such a bad stigma. Maybe therapists have a bad stigma. What about life coaches? There's a lot of very successful people out there that swear that everyone should have a coach. Why not? Shouldn't everybody have some type of coach on their team helping them, directing them, assisting them? But you need help with this, Brian, big time. I see this. And there's no reason that you need to suffer anymore. There's no reason you need to go back into this abusive relationship. And there's no reason that you need to find another person to abuse you more. So you really got to learn everything you can, because this is a huge experience, isn't it, Brian? If this is such a big experience in your life, it requires the most attention. It requires the most help. And it requires the most learning from it. Let's learn all we can from this, Brian. And you may not be able to do that all by yourself and see everything that you're supposed to see and learn everything and know everything. Okay? You're always there for her, but she wasn't there for you. So there's no reciprocation. And you might have learned somewhere in your life, Brian, that you're not equal. That you don't deserve to get what you put into a relationship. And you do. And we're all equal. And we've got to know this in relationships, okay? So sad. Get the help you need. I know she's no good for me. I don't know. You may not really love her right now, man. Hoovers. People hoovering you and crossing your boundaries, not caring how you feel after they abuse you with silent treatment and abandonment and discarding you like garbage, breaking your heart. How do you start to let go? Hire a professional. Get rid of every picture. Be extreme. Get rid of every photo of her, of everything that you own of her. Say goodbye to what she has of yours. Really start accepting and learning who she is and accepting who she is and that she's not going to change. Learning why she's like that can help. And then learning how you got involved in this relationship and learning why and going back to your childhood and then fixing all those things and really focusing on you, how you feel. Let's get your sense of self back again and finding out really who you are. okay? And learning what a good, healthy, happy, functional, loving relationship consists of. That's a start. I would act just like what I said in the beginning of this video. What I recommend, there's a lot of things you can do. Exercise, there's supplements. Talk, 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 talk until you totally understand all of this, okay? Good luck. Keep asking questions. Hey, David, Melinda from Sacramento. Hello, Melinda. What are your thoughts on why a narcissist is unable to accept any type of criticism or conflict in their relationships from their partners? This was a big deal to my ex-narcissist. Every time I would try to bring up an issue to discuss, no matter what my tone, I tried it all the time, mad gentle. And you know what? I cut you off. I'm so sorry, so I can't read the rest of it. But I got your question, Melinda. And this is a very, very common question. It is. I always try to think of a different way to say it every time. If I hate myself, I don't want to see a mirror, right, of myself. I won't look at myself. Literally, a lot of you guys might have such self-worth, it's hard to look at yourself in the mirror. It is. It's hard for people. If we don't really love ourselves, it's hard to look at ourselves. Okay? Narcissists, because that's what you said, that they are a narcissist, they have narcissistic personality disorder. They lost their self completely, entirely as a child. Okay? They have rejected who they really are because it hurts, because they feel like they're such bad people, because their childhood hurt so much. You'll see narcissists act like their childhood was fine when you know it wasn't fine. They'll say it was normal when it was just awfully traumatic, neglectful, and abusive. They're rejecting who they are, and they build a fake persona full of pride, self-appointed status. And when you go, hey, look at who you are, they hate it. They reject it. They reject themselves. It hurts. It's painful. That's why they don't ask for what they want and be vulnerable. That's why they aren't very good at apologizing and being vulnerable. That's why after a relationship, they don't introspect and stay alone and learn and heal. No, they go right to another person to feel better. So you're asking them, you're going to start telling them what's wrong with them. I know they need to be pointed out, you know, what they're doing is hurting their life and other people. But the last thing you need to tell a narcissist is what's wrong with them, because they know that everything's wrong with them. They hate themselves, literally hate themselves. So if I hate myself, I hate my life. I hate my life and I hate everything in it. Stupid dog. Hate my car, my house, my job. I hate it. You want to step inside my life? Because guess what? If you do, I'm going to hate you too. And if you want to sit there and criticize me and tell me what's wrong with me, hold a mirror up to me, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to storm out the door. I'm going to rage and scare you. And I'm going to make sure that you know it's all you. This is you. This is your fault. You're doing this, not me. Can't look at myself. Hurts too much. Thanks, Melinda. I hope that makes sense. Please just keep asking me questions. If it doesn't, okay, let me know what you think. Thanks. TB says, hello from PA, Pennsylvania. Hello. What happens with the poor functioning borderline when we do finally give up on the relationship? If they are totally dependent and are unable to care for themselves, it feels a bit like abandoning a child. Interesting. I hear you on this. We've become so responsible for them and done everything for them, right? We feel sorry for them. That's what got us in the first place, right? We feel sorry for them and we want to fix them and help them change. We want to change them. And then when we realize that someday we finally, hopefully realize that we can't change them and make them the person that we wish they would be, then it's time to be over it. But then we feel this duty, this responsibility to them. It's almost like we own them, right? It's almost like a dog or a child. Yeah. The borderline will always parentify you. The borderline cannot take care of themselves, period. They cannot take care of their emotional welfare, their well-being at all. They sabotage their life. They're so impulsive, they'll lose their jobs, their home, and their relationships. And they'll tell you they're going to commit suicide because they don't know what to do. let me just say this. At least the borderlines that won't get help for themselves, if you're in their life, you're enabling them. Period. Period. It's just like a drug. It's like a hardcore heroin addict in your life. And they aren't getting any better and they're doing heroin every day. How could you be in their life and not enable them? How could you? They call you up and they want to talk. Okay, be careful. You know, they might start complaining and then you help regulate their emotions. Now you're enabling them to not get help and do it themselves. Say they're really broke and they're strung out. They haven't done heroin now for a couple of days because they're out and they have no money, but they also can't eat. Damn it. You going to give them some money to eat? Because now here's the choice. Here may be the time that they actually put the heroin down and go get some help. My whole life's ruined. I got nothing. I can't even eat. But you're going to feed them. Now they can keep going. Do more heroin. That's the borderline. That's the borderline. You're in a borderline's life. If you are in a borderline's life that's not trying to help themselves at all, at least, then you're probably enabling them. And here's a clear indication of what it feels like. I want to end the relationship and it feels like I'm abandoning a child. Well, they are an emotional child, but they're not your child, right? They're not your child. You don't own them. And that's what dependent relationships feel like we own them. And just like narcissists believe they own you, or borderlines, they'll believe they own you. Dependent relationships. The relationship will end, even if it ended abruptly and traumatically. Sorry, it's over, bye. And they go cheat on you and stuff. You're like, God, how could they do that to me? How could they do that to me? You don't own them. They can go do whatever they want, but I hope to God it's over. You don't let them come back. Thank you, TB. Please keep asking more questions. Thanks. And Rachel Lay from Tennessee. Hi, Rachel. Rachel says, my comments keep getting deleted. And I'm really sorry. I am very sorry this is happening to some of you guys. I'm having problems with my channel. And it's YouTube, and there's nothing I can do about it. It's not all YouTube. YouTube is not recommending my videos. They'll be impossible for you to even find. I've been told my part ones aren't hard to find. I can't find it. I've been told that comments are getting deleted. I had somebody obsessively stalking me and my channel, and they were trying to get every single comment deleted, and by reporting it as this or that, and sometimes they'll get deleted. That's a problem. I'm really sorry. There's just not much I can do. I don't know what to say. You can all complain to YouTube. Maybe they'll try to clean my channel up and fix it. But they don't listen to me. I'm sorry, Rachel, but thanks for sticking with me. Rachel has a question. Can you discuss how going no contact with their abuser is not the same as giving someone the silent treatment? Absolutely. You know, we use these sayings, these terms, right? We got no contact and silent treatment. So real simple. Silent treatment is something an abuser does in a relationship, and no contact is someone the victim does after the relationship is over. Two totally. One's during the relationship, one is after the relationship. During the relationship, you ask them a question, your abuser, yeah, what do you think about this? And they ignore you. They're mad at you because you won't do something they want, so they stop talking to you. You sit there and talk to them and they just ignore you. They walk through your house and don't listen to you. Stuff like this. You try to call them, they don't answer. You text them, they don't answer until they feel like it. That's silent treatment. It's abuse. It's abuse. You're not communicating with your partner and you're trying to hurt them on purpose. It's abuse. No contact is because this relationship has become dependent and addictive. And these are a lot of my clients. They're afraid they might go back to their abuser. What do? I say, no contact. We don't need to talk to them anymore. We're not going to look at their social media anymore. We're not going to go through the photos. We're not going to even try to talk about them unless it's constructive with me or your therapist, stuff like this. Okay? Big difference. Thank you for asking, Rachel. Hope you're good. Oh, and this person's just from Germany. Deeper Roots, Higher Self. Is just recommending me some music songs. For those of you who don't know, I've got a playlist on my channel called Music. And it's literally just songs that are associated with personality disorders, with emotional abuse, PTSD, recovering from these relationships and these people. And I've got, man, a lot of them. You guys have really helped me out a lot. And there's well over 200 songs on there. If you're interested, check them out. And thank you. And I take recommendations. You guys have recommendations, just tell me and I'll throw them in there. Thanks. David from Canada. Hello, David. My emotional needs were not met at all while I was growing up. I have a 14-year-old son. Since becoming more aware of what his and my needs are, our bond has gotten much stronger. It is amazing how different our relationship has become after a narc opened my eyes to what I was lacking. We are all just trying to live our best lives. Sometimes what some people consider pure evil, we're just brought into our life long enough to help open our eyes to our own faults. And that's beautifully said. And it's just great. You're an awesome dad. I love to hear this stuff. Love it, love it, love it. And emotional needs, most important thing in our lives. And that's why I preach these all the time. And by going over your emotional needs and learning what they are finally, you will start to see that you were neglected and that you didn't have these met in your relationships, maybe any of them, maybe never in your life. Because if you haven't in your adulthood, I promise you, you didn't have them met in your childhood. I'll challenge anybody on that. Never seen it yet. Okay? It's called secure attachment style if you have. And it helps you be a better parent, right? Break that cycle. We were emotionally neglected as children, and now we meet our children's emotional needs because we tend to parent our children the way we were parented. And even if it was horrible and we've healed from it, we might still have some of those things that we're doing and not aware of. So I just love to see this. Thank you so much for sharing this, David from Canada. Okay, let's see where we are here. Okay. Hi, David. This is Megan from the United States, whose question you answered last week. Hello, Megan. I really appreciate that you took the time to respond to me. I kept listening to it repeatedly until it sunk in. You are correct on your assumption that he is so different from me. Great lesson to learn, isn't it? One of the first lessons I teach my clients, one of the biggest lessons I've ever learned in my 40s is, believe it or not, we're all different. I used to think we're all the same. And I see religions do this. I see religions, even though religions kind of judge good or bad and good and evil and holy and all this stuff. But they assume everybody values honesty and loyalty and respect, these kinds of moral values. They're just not being true to it. Stuff like that. And I just, it's so much easier to just say, we're all different. We're all totally equal, but we're so different. Not everybody values emotional connection. Not everybody values respect and honesty and loyalty and integrity and self-respect and acceptance and not judging people. There's just people that just don't value that stuff. And it might have been you or me sometime, right? But there's just people that don't. And we need to understand that. And we need to accept that and learn that so that we don't make the same mistake by assuming, guess what assuming does? That the person that you're with does value these things even though he doesn't show it. No. Not me. Okay, where was I? You are correct on your assumption that he is so different from me. I valued internal qualities and he values superficial characteristics. Very well put. We were never meant to be. I understand it logically and I'm actually grateful that he happened to me. If he didn't come into my life, I would have not finally realized that I was raised by a narcissistic mother. Awesome. Awesome introspection. Awesome insight. Awesome healing. Right here. I had a pattern of being drawn to this kind in the past, and now I finally woke up. I hope to fully heal so that I can truly live the rest of my life. You will. I promise. You will. Narc-free, like you suggested. I need to accept who he is, which is really difficult. So everything we went through together the last 2 years was an illusion. It makes me sad. But your experiences and your feelings are real, okay? And we try to just accept our feelings too. Just like we accept people for who they are. We accept our feelings and we accept our mistakes. We just made a mistake. It was just a big one that hurt really bad and really long. But we just say it was a mistake. And I love mistakes. And we can make as many mistakes as we want. Let's just not make the same one. Let's learn from it. And that's what you're doing. It's beautiful. And don't be so hard on yourself, okay? Just because somebody else doesn't know who they are doesn't mean that was your fault that you thought you loved them, okay? It makes me sad. To tell you the truth, I was hoping that you'd tell me that he didn't find the one, because narcissists can never be satisfied with just one person, and no one is ever perfect enough for them. But that's my emotional mind thinking. I will try to have my logical mind take over. Thanks again, and I'll definitely reach out when I have more questions. Good, thank you. Please do, Megan. And if he found the one, that's just the perfect victim. Doesn't mean they're happy and that their emotional needs are going to be met, like we talked about, and the relationship will heal and grow and be loving and functional. No. So you found a victim that might stay longer or give him more what he needs for a longer period of time. It doesn't mean anything. Nothing. Thank you, Megan. Thank you, Megan. That was beautiful. Aruj. I forgot where you're from, Aruj. It's been a while since I've seen it. Good to see you again. He's quoting Francis Bacon, and I liked it, so I'm repeating it. The zeal which begins with hypocrisy must conclude in treachery. At first it deceives, at last it betrays. Love that. Thank you, Ado. It was good to see you. And tell me where you're from next time. I forgot. Thanks. David in Canada, Canada. As you said to Navid, so true. Some crap came down with my ex-wife a few weeks ago. I have healed from her, and a new friend asked how I was doing, knowing what had happened. It was so odd for someone to actually ask me how I was. Really made me feel good knowing that someone cared. So often listening to your videos when you say sorry to someone to their pain. I took the apology as no one ever said that. That's beautiful. That is so awesome. And you know what I like to say now that I've been through all this? I don't ask people what they're doing or how they're... Sometimes I'll say, what are you doing? But I don't say, how you doing? How you feeling? Right? Who cares what people really are doing? That already suggests judgment, doesn't it? Oh, I care about what you're doing. Did you hear what so-and-so is doing? Did you hear what so-and-so did? Guess what I did? How are you feeling? How do you feel about what you did? How are you feeling today? What's going on? So much more personal, and it's great. Thanks for sharing that, David in Canada. Ross, don't know where you're from. Love to know your location, Ross. About withholding sex and rejection. And that's all you wrote. I said I'll bring these up, but please elaborate on the next video. If you're watching this, Ross, can you please ask me again down below on this video so I can answer that better? You said, how about withholding sex and rejection? Well, these can be tools of manipulation of control, can't they? Yeah, it's common. You know, there's one difference. I don't feel sexy. I don't want to have sex, right? I don't feel secure in our relationship right now. I don't want to have sex. But the withholding sex is kind of different, isn't it? Real control tactic. Anyways, it's hard for me to dive into this until you actually form it into a longer question or give me some more details. Thank you. And we are almost done. This is the last question, guys. From Babo. Oh, you say, my name is Demir, and you're from Bosnia. Hi, Demir. My question is about new supply. My narc ex is in new long-distance relationship. New supply is under spell. Probably he is love-bombed by now. He is putting their couple picture as profile pic, etc. My question is, why she is not doing the same? Why she is not bragging about her new relationship on her social media, and why she is acting as she is hiding her new relationship. So this is actually pretty common. So you have an ex who's now dating someone else, right? And you're looking at their social media. Stop looking. I see it confusing you and stuff. Now you're asking me because now we're all talking. Now everyone's listening about your ex and what she's doing. You got 1,000 people. Yeah, okay. So the question is, Demir, how does it feel when you look? Doesn't feel good. I know it doesn't. And you think that you're anxious and it's controlling your anxiety. And stop looking. It'll get better for you. Anyways, let me answer your question. So, Demir, So X is dating someone else, and you've noticed that the new person, we'll just say, is happier than hell and posting them together as a couple and saying, I'm in a relationship on Facebook, the in a relationship. And then you go look at your ex and it doesn't say they're in a relationship and there's no photos of them. Nothing, no word about it. I see that a lot. Pretty common. I remember those days. That feels horrible when your ex doesn't acknowledge you or your ex will block you. You live together, but you can't be friends on social media. Oh, I remember that. Long time ago. First of all, I don't know. Right, Tamir? I'm not going to act like I know what people are doing and why and how they're thinking, how they're feeling, if they don't tell you, if I don't know them. I don't know. So I'm guessing. Let's play the guess game. And you're asking me because I have experience in this. I appreciate that. So my guess is, well, I think it's pretty obvious, or I think it's pretty safe to say she's not committed. For whatever reason, she's not committed, right? It doesn't seem equal. It doesn't seem like she's equally committed. Maybe she has a fear of commitment. Maybe this is how she controls him. Maybe she doesn't really like him. Maybe she wants to remain available. That's a big one. That's a big one. You see, for one, narcissists hate themselves, remember? They hate themselves, and if you get close enough in their life, they'll hate you too. But what narcissists, we all have, that little bit of awareness of what people think of us. We all might be a little scared and a little worried, a little, it might be just a little or a lot, but I think we're all on that spectrum a little bit of what people think of us, okay? Narcissists put their entire identity in it. What you think of me is actually who I am. Pretty crazy. So if I'm and it's about pride, sounds like she has a lot of pride, and which is self-appointed status. So she cares about status maybe, and she thinks she's, great up here. Self-appointed though, so you're always worried about being knocked down. And you're always worried about what people think. And a lot of these or a lot of these pride people may have like social anxiety and stuff like that. They're actually a little anxious in society and worried about what people think of them. And they're worried about getting their status knocked down somehow. Okay? If they're already worried about that with one person themselves, right? Now they have a partner and they believe partnerships are who they own, that it's enmeshment, codependent. It's actually me. So now you could judge me for another person. Does that make sense? Now if you find imperfections in this person, now it's on me too. Weird, I know, but I also know that's how they think. That might be the problem here. Or just simple, whatever. I mean, that really is a fear of commitment too. So, and fear of commitment could be that, or it could be fear of getting hurt, of being abandoned, rejected, all kinds of different things. I don't know her. I don't know what her problem is or why or what she's thinking, feeling, her intentions. I don't know. I hope I gave some feasible reasons that might be what it is. And if you know her, maybe one of those will ring true to you and feel right. Thank you for asking me. And that's it, guys. Thank you, everybody, for your questions. Great questions. Again, I'm sorry I'm a day late. It won't happen next week. I'll be here Monday. Thank you, all of you. If you could support me again by subscribing to the channel, I'd really appreciate it. By voting up and down, commenting down below. Tell us your locations, where you're from. Share this, send it to people, put it in a playlist. But most of all, love yourself first. Love yourself first, guys. Take care. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.